and welcome back to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right, Craig. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast, the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most. Here on The Rundown, 2A views, conservative news. Craig, guess what day it is?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
That's right, folks. Today is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not, but as we like to say, the fun is all in the trying. How is your Hump Day going this far?
Oh, good, sir. I need your help, though.
Yes,
I'm not sure if my camera is crooked, if my monitor's crooked, if my room's crooked, or just my chair's leaning one way. I can't figure this out.
I'm going to say
How
your
does it
camera
look?
is slightly crooked.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Let me try this. Yeah, let's try.
That's better. There you go.
All right. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. I looked up and it was like looking at a new wave art painting. It was just stuff going all different directions, and it was boxism. Boxism.
Nope, your camera was as crooked as a New Jersey politician.
Like them all, baby, just like that. It's because right before the show we were talking about Taylor Swift, so that makes sense now.
Oh, there you go. Yes, we were actually comparing. We were trying to decide, would it be worse to have like Taylor Swift and the news commentators, like you're watching a sporting event, like every 5 minutes during your sporting event, them cutting away to Taylor Swift and talking about Taylor Swift, or listening to Mariah Carey Christmas music.
Yeah, and I had to side with Taylor Swift because at least we didn't have to listen to her sing. So.
That was there you go, and that was actually a very, very solid, sound, rationed argument.
Yeah. So, all good.
Although neither one of them
all
is
good.
hard on the eyes.
Nope, didn't say that. Well, wouldn't kick you out of the bed for eating crackers,
There you go. So how was the beginning of the weekend going for you?
Not too shabby. I'm still on regular weekend beverages, so we'll see how it works for later today.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. If you got a rifle in the past 5 years, an AR in the past 5 years, you probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them direct for your next barrels, for your next AR build, whether you're building one by yourself or you're just rebarreling your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you check them out, and also check out the California 6th congressional race while you're there. If you want the best concealment holster on the market, hands down, bar none, get over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG Hog Holsters. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want some tactical gear, whether you're going indoors, outdoors, hey, you could be go fighting with the Space Forces for all I care. You get the best tactical gear on the market minus the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do yourself a favor. Visit them today. Also, please take a moment. Visit craigdeluz.com. As he noted, I am running for Congress for California's 6th Congressional District. As you know, it takes some resources to run, and if you support the show, how about you support sending Craig DeLuz to Congress? So just go to craigdeluz.com today.
When he says it takes resources, he means cash.
Cash. I wish I were independently wealthy and could afford to pay for my own congressional race. I am not. I also don't have a lot of rich friends, except for Mike. Mike is my one wealthy friend, and he's stingy. So
I'm wealthy in bourbon.
There you go. If I could if I could finance my campaign with bourbon, I'd be all good. But such is not the case.
Yep. Hey, I made my money as a Nerf herder.
As a Nerf herder. Okay. On that note, we're going to move right along.
Moisture farmer.
Okay. This was a statistic that I saw today over at Breitbart that I did not believe until I actually wound up reading the article, but you got to check this one out. Over at Breitbart, they are claiming, they're calling it Biden's 2023 flood. One migrant for every American newborn. It says here, President Joe Biden's deputies welcomed at least one economic migrant into the United States during the last 12 months for every American newborn or high school graduate. More than 4 million economic migrants crossed the southern border during the government's October to September budget year, according to federal data released October 21st. In contrast, 3.67 million Americans were born during the matching 12-month period in 2022, according to the Census Bureau. That 2022 number includes at least 400,000 births to illegal immigrants. The inflow also creates vast economic competition for 3 million American youths who graduated from schools in the 12 months up to October 2022, the Bureau reported. One predictable result is that the new migrants are pricing ordinary Americans out of housing. And, that's, once again, a very interesting note. We're wondering why, and once again, we wonder why young people can't get jobs. Well, when you bring in that many people to compete with those youths for jobs, because once again, you're graduating from high school, all you really have is a high school diploma, so most of the jobs you're going to get are going to be low-skilled and low-income. Well, guess who else is coming across the border who tends to be low-skilled? And by the way, willing to work for even less than the American youths. Well, that would be undocumented or illegal border crossers.
Exactly. Bring that headline back up for me there. I want to take a look at something here on this headline. Let's see here. Let's go back to the top there. Let's see. Who's this written by? This is written by who's the author? Does it say the author?
Neil Monroe.
Okay.
Monroe.
Mr. So I'm just saying that this title and the first paragraph, we need to work on his literature a little bit better, his English diction. One migrant for every American newborn. So Craig, I read this and I'm like, man, every newborn gets a migrant. That's kind of cool, right? Let's go to the first paragraph there. And again, let's say there we go. More than 4 million economic migrants crossed the southern border during the government's start budget year. First, I'm sorry. President Joe Biden's deputies welcome at least one economic migrant in the United States during the last 12 months for every American newborn. Yeah, they welcomed one for every American newborn or high school graduate. So if you're a newborn baby or you're a high school graduate, according to the story, go pick up your migrant. You've got a new one waiting for you.
You've got one waiting for you.
There's one waiting for you at the board. You've been sponsoring one and you don't even know it. You got to get down there and pick them up. Listen, now you can have a baby and childcare at the same time. Like, we just had a baby. Let's go to the border, pick up our migrant. They can watch them. There we go.
There you go.
But these numbers are astounding, Craig. I love when they find something, comparable like this. You think about it. We've just doubled our population increase this year in this country, right? We have actually probably tripled it, right? Because you have the number of births plus the number of high school graduates equals the number of migrants coming in this year. That's absolutely astounding when you think about it.
Well, okay, so now no. What it noted was you have one migrant for every person born, but also you have one migrant for every high school graduate.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that means but the point is that you're right. New population birth. But what's crazy is that you have one new competitor for low skill jobs for every high school graduate. So in other words, for every high school graduate that's graduating, if they're looking to go get a job, guess what? You got competition for that job.
Yeah. We could train all these migrants to be caretakers. That'd take care of the baby problem, the healthcare problem, or not the healthcare, the child care problem. So
No, because once again, with the way they're pushing up prices and costs of everything, increases in minimum wage and whatnot. Well, let me clarify. Everywhere except for California, because in California, minimum wage, they're looking to push it up to $18 an hour. If you work for a healthcare agency, they're looking at pushing it to $25 an hour. Not looking, it's been pushed to $25 an hour. Yeah, a lot of these youths are going to have to, when they graduate from high school in California, are going to have to leave the state in order to get a job.
yeah, now listen, with the inflation thing, folks, stick around at the parting shots because I think we got a tip for you how to help with inflation. So
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I guess my point here with a lot of this conversation, what I wanted to point out and talk about here was the fact that we have a serious problem. I mean, I like what this points out is that we have both a current and a future major economic problem when it comes to dealing with immigration. And the impact is going to be both immediate as well as long term. And I don't get how Democrats don't understand that we have to fix this.
yeah, I like you, Craig. I don't think I realized again the numbers comparable to something, right? What we have going on here, the amount we all hear the massive amount coming in, but when you compare that to births, high school graduates, I mean that really puts a face to it. It kind of identifies your left and right parameters of what you're really looking at size wise here, and how the Democrats still don't see that challenging the next generation and the coming of adulthood generation. So here's two generations now that are challenged to find places in the work society.
Well, and we used to have as a part of our we used to have, when we looked at immigration, we used to look at it in a way in which, okay, how does this benefit us as a nation, right? What is the public policy reason we're either increasing or decreasing immigration? And the problem we have here is it's just now, well, immigration is good. And it's one of those things where, it's kind of like if you have a ship, right? If you have a boat and there's a sinking ship and everyone wants to get off that sinking ship into your boat, well, guess what? You can only handle so much in your boat. And what you wind up doing is if you wind up trying to take everybody off the big ship into your boat sinks.
Yeah. Well, listen, I know what some of the Democrats would say, right? And they don't want to say it, but man, was it Pelosi or Feinstein, right? I forget which one. You'll know as soon as I say it that they like all the immigrants coming because it's going to make the cost of produce go down.
Oh yeah, that's Pelosi.
Pelosi said it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the fact is that as long as they are here illegally, it's not going to go down because, it'll stay down. If they ever become illegal, if they ever truly address the issue of illegal immigration, then the price is going to go up because then they're going to start being able to receive fair wages. And here's what it is. And just be real with you. What they want is for liberalism to work, there has to be an underclass, people who are willing. There has to be a low cost labor force that can be manipulated in order for liberalism to work. That's the only way it works. And that's what this is. That's who these folks are. They are the nannies. They are the hotel maids. They are the lawn care folks who you pay under the table and basically abuse them because, well, hey, they're earning more money than where they came from. That's their attitude.
They are okay with exploiting these people for their benefit. Yep.
There you go. Exactly. But in their eyes, well, it's okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, folks, we got a major problem, and it's one that clearly has to be addressed. And unfortunately, there are very few, if anybody, who are in a position to do anything about it, who are actually going to do anything about it.
That's right.
Moving right along. KJP ignores anti-Semitic question. Now, this was one I honestly, I could not believe this when I heard it. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Pull up the video. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up and play this video for you here real quick. So KJP was asked about anti-Semitism, right? About a rise in anti-Semitism as a result of what's been going on. And her response, well, you've probably already heard it, but I'll let you hear it again. Let me pull up the Twitter video here.
Level of concern right now about the potential rise of anti-Semitism in light of everything that's going on in Israel?
So a couple of things. We have not seen any credible threats. I know there's been always questions about credible threats, and so just want to make sure that that's out there. But look, Muslim and those perceived to be Muslim have endured a disproportionate number of hate-fueled attacks. And certainly President Biden understands that many of our Muslim, Arab Americans and Palestinian American loved ones and neighbors are worried about the hate being directed at their community.
His level of concern right now.
Okay, so Mike, let me ask you this now. I did not know that anti-Semitism included anti-Muslim rhetoric and hate. Does it? I mean, or is my definition off?
No, Craig, you have to understand she's an idiot. Okay, so she doesn't know the difference between anti-Semitism and anti-Muslimism. You know, she turned to her little binder there and went and found the first tab that said foreigner hate and read it. You know, that's all she did. You know, she didn't check to make sure which foreigner it was. Oh, is it Muslims? Because she thinks that Semitism is anti-Semitism is something that happens in Israel. She doesn't understand that it's also people's hatred of Jewish people here in America. She just went to the wrong tab, read the wrong thing, and thought, "I'm good. Let's move on."
Well, I think she didn't anticipate that people were going to ask about anti-Semitism. She was waiting and had prepared the answer relating to, anti-Muslim rhetoric. But
yeah,
what gets me with this whole thing is that, and how do I put this? What gets me is that if that had been the answer by a Republican press secretary, Democrats would have lost their minds. And she gets away with it.
I see all of the reporters sitting there, and they hear her say things, and I'm sure their notes say stuff like, "Dumb girl didn't know." Like how was the answer to the anti-Semitism question? She had no clue. Next question. You know, it's probably their notes. You know, they're just letting her go. At this point, they know that this is kind of the standard answer from the White House, whether it happened to be from the president talking about the Phillies in the middle of a worldwide crisis, or, and I love baseball, but and then you got their press secretary who doesn't know the difference between, and I'm going to coin the phrase right here, Craig, anti-Muslimism and anti-Semitism.
Well, I can honestly say I pay attention to press.
What difference does it make?
Right. Well, I pay attention to press secretaries doing media. I'm always looking at, okay, how do people answer media questions and stuff like that? And I can say that I've been looking and following press secretaries dating all the way back to in detail, probably since the second George Bush.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right.
I did pay attention to some before that, but I cannot recall a press secretary, a White House press secretary that is as inept, and inept is the best word, who is worse than this one. I mean, here's the deal. I don't know. I get it. You're gonna lie for your president, right? You're gonna spout the line.
Yeah.
But at least give the right line. At least if you're gonna lie, make it sound believable.
I'm not even sure she knows that it's a lie. That's what I'm saying. She, her knowledge of this situation is probably zero. She's the girl that's studying for the test. Oh, I have to get this answer to that question. She gave you the right answer, Craig. It was just to the wrong question.
Right. Anyway, the worst press secretary in history. I feel very confident in saying that. And by the way, but she is celebrated because she is the first black lesbian press secretary in history.
Yeah. She's better than Scaramucci or worse than Scaramucci.
Scaramucci was pretty bad, but at least he was entertaining.
He was entertaining. Yeah. You used to lay down bets to see if he was going to actually fight anybody during the press briefing.
He probably, I'll put it to you this way, if he had lasted longer than 2 weeks, he might be in the running with her.
Yeah, yeah. She's got a much bigger base to pick from. Yeah,
exactly. She's been much more consistent in her ineptness than Scaramucci was. Scaramucci, they got him out of there as soon as they could.
And I could see that there when they needed a press secretary right away. They're like, "Oh, use Scaramucci. He's a good guy. We're only going to use him for like 2 weeks. How bad could it be?" It was like, remember the Chevy Chase talk show? It was like that bad.
Okay? It was that bad. Put it to you this way: he was so bad that he was only in there, like I said, 2 or 3 weeks, and we're still talking about him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep.
Oh, another one of President Trump's excellent appointment choices.
Hey, don't say you could do the job if you can't, because I'm going to give you the opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. They would have done better. They would have been better off to actually have Joe Pesci just go up there as the dude from My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. There you go.
So how are we going to engage the Utes?
Let's see. The Utes.
The Ute
what?
vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, Anna. The Utes.
Utes.
Yep.
Okay. Moving right along. All right, this was one that this was not actually a news item until I actually decided to look it up, because we keep hearing about the Palestinians. There's this one story about a teacher who sings in order to not hear the constant bombardment of the Israeli rockets flying overhead, right? Well, what a lot of people fail to realize or fail to remember is that you do realize that the other folks, the terrorists, have been consistently shooting rockets into Israel forever. And so I went and I looked and I found this article. It's called from the Jerusalem Post. It says, and this is from 2021. What do we know about the number of rockets fired into Israel? And this is from 2021. It says Iran's media has barraged Israel. Has bragged that Israel is facing its highest ever rate of rocket fire from Gaza. This is the message to Hezbollah in the future of war. A large number of rockets fired at Israel might tip the conflict in Iran's favor. This is also the narrative pushed by Hamas. But is it true? So here it says, what we know is based on IDF statements about the number of rockets fired. On the first day of the conflict, May 10th, 150 rockets were fired from Gaza and dozens intercepted by the Iron Dome system. Some rockets fell short in Gaza and some fell short and some were intercepted. Now, by the way, this is from 2001, and I just realized that I didn't open the page. Hold on. I want to find the one from, where'd it go?
Craig,
I had one from recently.
No, go ahead and look. I know I could tell you that I've got some friends that were over there very recently, right before the attack started, and within the past 6 months. And I want to point out that the norm for everybody is probably 10 to 20 rockets a day. I mean, it could be everybody's shaking hands, kissing babies, and there's still 10 or 20 clowns lighting off our RPGs and just launching them into the air, or big missiles, real missiles, not these man-held stuff. It just 10 to 20 days that the dome just takes down, and people in Israel walk around like, oh, got another one. It's no big deal. It's become such a part of life to have terrorists ship rockets and missiles to just outside the Israeli border and shoot them in. It's become part of daily life there. So that aside, the small numbers, there's the numbers they're shooting now are ridiculous. Now, Craig, if you shot 10 missiles at me, that would be huge. But how many in there? How many are they shooting at Israel now during this 2 weeks of terror?
All right, here we go. So from October 7th until 2 days ago, 7,750 plus.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, you look down and you could see, oh, a day, 5 a day, 10 a day. They've just become the norm, that they shoot them in. But yeah, almost 8,000 missiles. Now, that is tasking the Iron Dome. And I know what they're doing is the system is so advanced that they're not shooting down every missile. It's the missiles that come up and they're like, okay, that one's going to land based on the trajectory out in the desert in the middle of nowhere. So they won't engage them. So they're saving their ammo basically by only shooting the ones that are heading towards populated areas.
So you look here and you see the number of rockets, right? You see here, it seems like every year they pick a period where they're just going to send a barrage of rockets. Here's one where let's go back up here. So up here, this isn't the first time they send a bunch of rockets. May 10th to the 13th, almost 1,500 rockets. Down here, August 5th through 8th, 1,100 rockets in 2022. And then, now this was the one related to the article that I just talked about. On the first day, it was 150, but over that 10-day period, almost 4,400 rockets fired into Israel. Now, I once again, I keep hearing people here saying they want a ceasefire. Well, this is what happens when you get a ceasefire. When you have a nation, a government, and I want the folks who are governing the Gaza Strip, that is Hamas. When they are shooting over 1,000 rockets every year into your country, who would put up with it? Imagine the same people. You knew who they were. Imagine your neighbors, right? Shooting at your house every day or 1,000 times every year. You're telling me you would never respond?
Yeah, absolutely right. Craig, I'm looking at the days. It looks like mostly those big attacks, they actually correspond to Ramadan, it looks like.
Yeah.
So that's how they're celebrating the holidays. No, hey, look, it's Santa. No, it's missiles going towards Israel.
But Mike, I'm telling you, what gets me is you keep hearing people talk about this two-state solution. How can you have a two-state solution when one of the parties who will be governing one of the states is dedicated to one thing, eradicating you and your people and your entire nation from the planet Earth? That's a one-state nation. That's a one-nation solution. And it ain't Israel. It don't include Israel.
You know how I feel. And I think this is how Israel feels, and they're just trying to play nice with others, like us in the UK and France and peoples. One state. Here's one state solution. All Israelis in here or friends of Israelis, everybody else other side of the wall. Listen, those are your people on the other side of the wall. Go have them take in. We're done with you.
Right. But eventually, what you got to deal with at this point, though, Mike, is also you got to take, because the people that are on the other side of the wall who keep shooting rockets and sending terrorists in to kill your women, children, families, and whatnot, eventually you have to go to the other side of that wall and deal with those people.
Yes, you do. But now you don't have to worry about the whole women and children argument, and they're one state and they're Israeli citizens. Then you can go back to the General Curtis LeMay. I don't know if you remember who General Curtis LeMay was. He said, if you kill enough of them, they'll stop fighting.
Well, the problem is that what you've got in the cases of Hezbollah and Hamas is you have a death cult, and you have basically people who have decided that for them, and this is the head of Hamas said, for them, death is the beginning. So they're not scared of death. They look forward to the glory of death. So it's almost like when you, by the way, you're raising up from the time they're children, people to believe that dying in service of killing Jews is the greatest honor you could have. You may not achieve success until a large numbers of people are gone.
Craig, then I might be a stripper girl, because I am your destiny, baby. I am going to help you out. Going to help you get to that afterlife.
There you go. There you go. All right, real quick, for our last story, Joe Biden is not going to be on the New Hampshire ballot. And the reason why he's not going to be on the ballot, they're noting, is because, well, New Hampshire has decided they are not going to go with what the Democratic Party wants. The Democratic Party wanted to switch from Iowa being the first primary to South Carolina. And so normally it goes Iowa, then New Hampshire, and then South Carolina. Well, and then other states, including South Carolina. Well, New Hampshire said, nope, we're still going to do it. We're still going to hold it. And so he's not going to bother. Out of protest, the president is not going to be on that ballot. But I'm wondering, Mike, is this a sign of things to come? Could this be the beginning of Joe Biden not running?
Craig, I would like to think, and in fact, the first time I saw send this story over today, I thought, how do we do this 49 more times? That's what we need to do. But I don't think it's going to matter, right? Is it one electoral vote from New Hampshire? I think it's not going to make that much of a difference. Although. Well, they have 1 + 1 + 1 equals a lot more than 1. So, although KJP would have to look that up in her book, 1 + 1. Hold on. Let me look.
+1 + 1 equals 3.
Let me look.
Anyway,
it equals Muslims.
But Mike, I want Joe Biden to be on the ballot, because if it's not him, chances are it's going to be Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom will be a worse president than even Joe Biden.
Yeah, he'll be a much better.
But the problem is that he will be a more formidable candidate than Joe Biden.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want Democrats to have any shot at winning. There is no Democrat that I know of that is even thinking about running for president that would not continue the ruination of the United States of America.
Right. Well, Craig, we know the last 2 elections they haven't had a shot at winning.
No. But they walked away with one of them.
Yeah.
I'm like this. I'll go back. Hugh Hewitt wrote a book. If it ain't close, they can't cheat. We got to make sure it ain't close.
Yeah. Yeah. But
just saying.
You move the goalposts every time. All
right.
We traveled 150 yards downfield and we're still 20 yards short of the end zone. How's that work? I don't know. I don't get it.
Sometimes it be like that. All right, we're going to move ahead to parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. That's HAWGholsters.com. Go there. Go to the website. Use the discount code The Rundown. Get your Hog Holster today. Let them know the guys over at The Rundown sent you. All right, so I'm going to preface this first parting shot with an additional video. So you may or may not know this, but ATF, once again, if you're a gun person, you know this happens. If you're just a person who follows politics, you may not have known this happens. ATF actually sends agents out to people's homes asking to look at people's guns. And so this first video here is just simply an instance, because I want you to know it happens. This is an instance of where it happened. And the guy kind of explaining why they're there to look at the person, to basically demanding that the person show them their guns. So let me show it to you right here real quick.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I'm doing is verifying that you have it. You got 2 different purchases. Okay. If you have them, I'm out of here. That's how quick it is. Yeah. You have them with you by any chance? Are they? If you can unload them and bring them out, or you can go out to your foyer here, check them out by serial number, and we're out of here.
That's it?
Yep.
That's it. It'll take 5 seconds.
The reason we're out here is we're obviously gun violence has been an uptick, so we want to make sure we've been having a lot of issues with straw purchases. So one of the things indicators that we get is somebody makes like a large gun purchase, and then a lot of times we've been there like, oh, those guns got taken. We're like,
so the idea is when you purchase more than 2 guns at a time, it generates a multiple sale report. And it comes to us, and we have to check them out. Okay. That's all that is. He did nothing wrong. Did absolutely zero.
All right, so let's lay it out here real quick. So number one, they don't have a warrant. Does that mean you are obligated, Mike, to show them your firearms? Are you obligated to present your firearms to them, even if they come up with a good logical reason why? Are you obligated at all?
No.
Did they sound like he had a choice as to whether or not he could he could show them their fire? He was required to show them his firearms.
No, listen, that's an investigative technique. They did not lie to him, which they're actually allowed to do. But he gave him a couple options, right? Rather than tell him the option is you don't have to. He said the option is you can show me now, nice and easy, or then we're gonna have to come back, right? So it's what he was doing. The first guy when he talked, Craig, that guy was clearly trying to confuse the situation. The second guy actually said, "Listen. The reason we're here is because we want to make sure a crime didn't occur, make sure a straw purchase didn't occur. And we want to make sure that if you show it to us, we'll be good." Now, for both ones, the guy who says we want to see it and be gone, and the second guy who says we want to make sure a straw purchase didn't be gone, first thing I tell him is to read my doormat, because the doormat says come back with a warrant at my house. And or you just tell them, great, thanks guys, thanks for caring about safety in the community. Lawyer. Yeah. I'm not surrendering any of my rights to you. If you believe, if you're doing an investigation and you want to see the firearms that are secure in my home, come back with a warrant.
Right. Now, not everyone is as receptive as this individual was as they were. Now, by the way, I don't know how receptive the dude was, because he made it the point to record it. But some folks, well, let's just say that their response is wow. It's entertaining.
First one, Craig, that first was probably the doorbell camera recording it. I don't think this guy was standing there with his phone recording it. Yeah.
Okay. So this next one, and I want to reiterate. Well, I will provide all of our clarifications and disclaimers afterwards. I think you will find this both disturbing and entertaining.
Crazy video of the ATF going into a house, and the ATF is like, hey, you bought some guns, we need to see if you still have them because of straw purchase. A complete violation of your Second Amendment, your Fourth Amendment, and just, basic common sense and humanity. Here's where the ATF agents, they go to one dude's house, and the dude goes, oh yeah, I'm going to go get it. Hold on a second. Closes the door, calls the cops. He goes, there's somebody out here pretending to be a cop who wants to see my guns. And that's how you get this confrontation right here.
Hey, turn around. Let me see your hands. Turn around. Let me see your hands. Okay, let me see your hands. I need to see some ID. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now.
I'm a federal agent.
917-110-3.
I'm a federal agent.
Get on the ground so I can find out who you are.
It ain't happening. This is how you get shot. I got my ID.
Do not reach for your waist. Keep your hands up.
Dude, why would I have an Olay?
Get your hands up. Get on the ground.
Face down
now.
Face down. You guys are making a big mistake.
You are the one making a mistake.
And then he finally sees it. I get on the ground. I'm a federal agent. If that got you off, have a cigarette. Get ready for round two, because it gets way better.
Do not resist.
So this guy, listen, and here's some mistakes that were made, right? Then we'll hit these real quick. If you are a federal agent, and this guy probably was, he was either a federal agent or an investigator for ATF, right? You don't go to the door with no ID, all right? You should be plainly visible, hanging around your neck. If you're just doing a paperwork check, there's no reason to have a gun exposed. And it didn't look like this guy had a gun exposed. Okay, I'll give him that. But you have your ID rarely there. That way, when your hands are up like this, you go, here's my ID, come look at it. Now, these cops, I'm not going to say they overreacted. I don't know what the call was. The call might have been, there's a crazy man at my door with a gun that says he's the ATF, and he's trying to take my guns. So that may be their response. Like you said, it might be swatting. It might not. But it's just, there's a lot of nonsense going on here that doesn't have to happen if the ATF's not going door to door going, hey, that legal gun purchase you made a month ago? We want to make sure it's still legal. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that?
Well, why are we doing that? And then on top of it, once again, law enforcement's number one thing to avoid incidents like this are comply. And guess what the federal agent refused to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Now listen, if I'm that guy, if I happen to get caught, right? Because I've been, law enforcement officer. I've carried concealed, I've been undercover. I carried very well. Nobody called in that I was carrying a gun, right? But if I get enforcement that comes to me and they say, get on the ground, and the only way for me to prove I'm a law enforcement officer is to put my hands down to get my ID where my gun is, you know what I'm doing, Craig? I'm getting on the ground because I'm not going to get accidentally shot. All right. This is the same thing we give guidance to people when they get pulled over by cops and they say they have a gun in their car and the cop reacts incorrectly.
Right.
All right. Comply. All right. Fight it later. You know, when you sue them, as opposed to getting shot because he thought you were going for your gun.
Right.
It's all about living till, going home tonight. Right.
Right. It's not about, oh, well, my rights. No. Let's focus on keeping your life.
Yeah.
Then we'll focus on the right. And it's, once again, in an instant like that, even if in the very beginning the guy had said, put your hands up, okay, and then, because what happened was the dude decided that he was gonna he had decided that he was just not gonna listen to the cop, instead of saying, because the cop didn't have his gun out at first.
Right. I think he turned around and realized, I don't have any ID showing. And that's when he finally decided to get down.
Yeah. No. Anyway, we're not advocating swatting anybody, but what we are, what I do want to point out is, and then Mike, I think made the point. What happened there wouldn't happen if ATF weren't out there going to ask, without warrants, going to ask to see people's guns.
Yeah. Yep. Listen, if the ATF have permission to come in your house and check your guns, you're not even going to know that they're coming in your house. They're just coming in your house. Okay.
Right.
I've had them come to my door before and I just talked to them through the door. You got a warrant? No. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Exactly. Know your rights, folks. And by the way, you don't have to be a jerk when you're standing up for yourself. I'm sorry. But no,
sir, my lawyer said I should do this. Blame it on my lawyer said this. My lawyer said I should have to call him. If you'll wait there, sir, I'll call my lawyer.
If you wait there, sir, I'll call my lawyer. Yeah. Can you open the door again? No, I will not be opening the door again. Sorry. No. If I open the door in the first place.
They're there based on the belief that you're going to be cooperative and let them in. Don't give up your rights. Don't give up your rights.
We actually had someone from the Federal Department of Education and someone from the FBI that were investigating. They were investigating something relating to the school district and one of our vendors, right? And I'm like, I don't know who these people are. They come to the door and they want to talk because, they all they had was, we had approved an expenditure to this guy's company like 3 or 4 years ago, right? And I was the board president, so they wanted to talk to me about it. So I talked to them through the door. I said, well, may we come in? I said, no, you may not. They were like, well, why? I said, do you have a warrant? They said, no. Well, then, no, you may not come in. We can talk from right here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to invite them in because, their job is not to protect your rights. Their job is to arrest people.
Right. I collect unique law enforcement badges. Okay. And one I had, this is, 10, 20 years ago, Craig. And, I got a knock on my door because we would go to gun and patch and badge shows we do, and had it on display. And I guess somebody made note of it. And I got a knock on the door from this unique federal division of someplace. Mm-hmm. And they said, we'd like to see it. And I was like, what do you want to know? And they asked me some questions through the door. And I said, I'll tell you what, my mailbox is out there on the road. If you want to write your questions down and send them to me, I'll get them back to you. Otherwise, and it ended up being a stolen badge. And I cooperated with them because I don't want, stolen badges out there, but I ended up getting it back. But now all of my collection, I have letters that go with them that say it's okay for me to have them. So
exactly. Well, and that's the thing, folks, just understand once again. Yeah. I'll tell you, like in California, the Department of Justice here, when they required people to register their assault weapons, they required them to send in pictures. And then they were going and asking to inspect firearms based on those pictures.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Even if the firearm that they went after, that they went there to inspect, there was nothing wrong with that, they got a peek at everything else that was in the gun safe. And you had people getting busted for stuff that weren't assault weapons, but they weren't quite things that they were supposed to have.
Thanks for letting me in to take a look at your firearms. I noticed smoking apparatus on your dining room table.
Exactly. All right. Hey, we're running a little over time here, but I wanted to get Mike offered it up, so I wanted to promise this one solution to inflation. And I'll let Mike go ahead and describe it for those who are listening.
Here's a nice picture of some groceries, and it says, I present $100 worth of groceries. It's not really a lot amount of groceries. And one of the comments on the bottom is, I could get this down to 40 to 50 bucks at the self-checkout.
Yes.
That's my employee discount, right? If I'm doing self-checkout, that's an employee discount.
There you go. Employee discount or compensation for services rendered, since I'm doing your job.
Folks. Don't steal. Don't steal.
Don't steal. Don't steal. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yep.
All right, before we go, let's give that final shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industry, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get rifle and pistol caliber barrels at any length you need for your next AR rifle or pistol build. Also available, Glock barrels. Check them out. Hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind the lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Check out that California 6th congressional race. And of course, you want to get all tactical, get your tactical gear on. You're going outdoors, going indoors, wherever you're going. Get everything but the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. And with that, we are done for today. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will see you tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday. Whoop-ah! See y'all later.